We all wanna change. We all wanna be somebody else. I wanna visit all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs.
Hello and welcome to Desertwood Days. I am your host, Kathy Blaze, and today I'm here with the beautiful Kema Charles. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, Miss Kema. How's things going with Lights, Camera, Discover?
Well, it's going good. We're bouncing back from not being able to function for about a year like everybody else. We are a hands-on program, so it's going good. We're getting there. We're looking toward the next road.
Wonderful. So Lights, Camera, Discover is a nonprofit. And could you give us a little background information on that?
Sure. So we were trying to find a different way for kids to learn teamwork and do something in the summer other than swimming and, playing sports. And so we decided to use our skills in filmmaking and animation on how to teach kids to work together. So from concept to completion, they work on the project. So they act in it, they shoot it, they edit. If it's special effects makeup, they do that as well. So that we were just trying to find another way to keep them creative and busy during the summer.
The monsters running around, no pun intended.
Exactly.
First, I applaud you for taking this on because, most people don't have patience to work with children.
Right.
And we need to be there to support our children.
Definitely.
What inspired you to create this platform for children to learn about film?
So I was seeing, I know my parents kept us busy. From being Girl Scouts to my mom running fun fairs at school, she kept us busy. So I always found different, unique things to do. I was an athlete, so I never, growing up, thought of doing something like what I'm doing now. But I had a job in LA where I was seeing kids come from different countries and different states going to film schools, and just because you said you want to be an actor doesn't mean you want to be an actor.
Right,
once you figure out what it's all about, and here you are now in debt because you're just spent a bunch of time realizing what you don't want to do. And then seeing kids who wanted to do it but weren't able to because of finances. So we decided to do it as a nonprofit where we don't charge families anything. So it gives you a chance to see, okay, yeah, you wanted to go for acting, but now after you've been in our program, because you learned all of it, you're like, maybe I don't want to be in front of the camera. I want to produce, because that's what happened with me. I started out as an actor, and being the control freak I am, I was offered to produce one time, and then I was like, that's where I'm supposed to be. So that's why we decided to do something like that.
Not everyone loves being in front of the camera.
No, not at all.
So, you work with young children. What benefits have you witnessed from this experience?
So one of my favorite stories, we also work with schools around the Valley and do after-school programs with them. And I remember the one that we did, the first day of the program, they were like, this is going to be your problem child. Just beware, find some busy work for them. And so in the beginning, there was a who's in charge type of thing, like what they explained, but I love a challenge. Yeah. So by the end of the program, he was my favorite because we had a moment where he did something and I told him I was proud of him. And that changed his whole attitude because he said, no one has ever said that to me before. So it wasn't that he was a bad child. Right. It was that he just needed that attention and that, that moment of someone saying something to him that made him a completely different person. So I love seeing those kind of changes in students, as well as another summer, we work at like recreation centers, and again, at summer, all they're used to doing is playing sports. And so every break, I had a student that always wanted to go play basketball during break and lunch and things like that. And then toward the end of the program, once we started working with the cameras, I'm like, why don't you go play basketball? He's like, I'm coming to get my camera. So it's just the fact that you expose him to something different, that all he knew was basketball. And now, next thing you know, it's, what are we shooting next? I'm the cameraman, type of thing. So I just love seeing the attitudes change and the ideas change, that there's so much more that you can do.
That's amazing. Yeah. And back to the child that you said, he said, no one ever told me that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just have to experience that.
Yeah.
Someone told me I can do it.
Exactly. And that's what I love about what we do.
Yes, that is amazing. Yeah. And what is the age range for this?
So for after school, it depends on the schools. We try to focus more on middle school and high school, but definitely the summer, it's more of a summer camp. So it's all day, 9 to 5. So right before COVID, the program we had in summer 2019, we started with 5-year-olds. It used to be from 9 and up, but I tried. So we now have a special program. We call them the little CDs instead of LCDs. And so we do from 5 to 8 and then 9 and up for the rest of our summer program.
Okay. How do the 5-year-olds grasp it?
Oh my God, that was my favorite. Because they, of course, they can't write. So it was more improvising and just playing around. So we gave them old school type of camcorders and just told them to go with it. They made their little costumes because they wanted to do good superheroes and gave them props. And it was just like they were playing with their friends.
Right.
And, you know, they had their little cameras in their hands, telling the other youth to get in front of it. But it was really, I enjoyed it. And that's what made me say, you know what, we need to keep this in there, because parents were always looking, saying, oh, my kid can't attend because they got to watch their younger brother. So you know what? No excuse now. Right. They can all come to me.
So we were speaking about the little 5-year-olds,
yes.
and you're speaking about having them there all day.
Yes. So we did learn a lesson with that. With the older kids, we give them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they have their programs. But with the 5-year-olds, I realized they needed nap time.
Yes.
And a couple of extra times going to the park. So, yeah, so that we did adjust it for them. We get
grouchy when we're tired.
Yeah, a little bit. I wanted to, get some of that nap time too, but couldn't do that being in charge. But yeah.
Okay, so this is a whole out program
in the summer.
What it is during the summer, from May through.
So no, we do it for 6 weeks. So we do it for 3 weeks in June. We take a week off doing the 4th of July, and then 3 weeks in July.
So you have a program that you work through. Where do you start with your program? Where do they start?
So we start
training. I want to say training.
Yeah. So we split them up in groups so that the teachers can recycle. But we start with the acting, just to get them loosened up a little bit, especially being around new people, teaching them improv a little, and then the basics of filmmaking, the basics of telling a story. And then once they break off into their groups, that's when they get into the good part of writing their own script. Because once they write a script, it's still a competition of which one's going to be filmed. So they do it like they pitch it to me and the other directors.
That just got deep.
So yeah, so they experience a whole filmmaking videography thing when it comes to us. So we had one year where it was boys versus girls, and I was kind of biased, but we did pick the right story. But yeah, so
you see this little 5-year. This is the reason why my video should be picked.
Right. So yeah, they have to pitch it to us like they were really pitching the story to a producer.
Amazing. That is amazing. Is there one? Not giving names. Is there one child that created something that stood out the most?
Yes. So every year they have to do an anti-bullying piece.
Okay.
And so it was a few children in 2019. Normally it's a story we do, like we've attacked cyberbullying, we've attacked so many different type of bullying. But this last year in 2019, it was more documentary style. So the students spoke as being bullied, of being bullied, of being the bully, as well as that they got from the teacher. So those stories really touched me. And so they all stood out, especially those that realized that bullying was not a good thing.
Right.
So that was one of the main ones that really stood out to me.
Right. And we know they were all winners. So where do you get your children from for your program?
So for the summer program, it's a lot of word of mouth and social media. Us visiting places like as a vendor, going to different communities and saying, hey, this is what we do for the summer. We have limited space. Let's sign your kids up. It's a free program. We just ask for you to be committed and be there from beginning to end, because I don't want you to be there in the beginning and get like a director spot and then you don't come back. That kind of messes up the teamwork thing. So we just go throughout the community throughout the year, just telling them the dates that it is and get them registered for it. We can also see our clips on our YouTube page. If you just go to YouTube and search Lights, Camera, Discover.
Okay, and that's what I was going to ask. Where can our audience find you?
You can find us on our website, lightscameradiscover.org, on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at LCD Programs, or YouTube, of course, as I stated. There's a way to find us as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us today. It was such a pleasure and learning about LCD.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for joining us today at Desertwood Days, and we look forward to seeing you next time.